y'all. Welcome to Moon Chaser Studio, home of fairy tales and sales. How are ya? All right, today I'm in the need of a thank you card, and I don't have any in my stash. So I'm just gonna make a simple card to send to write thank you. This is gonna be fun, y'all, because I've never used these. This is a new brand to me. This is Strathmore cards, and they're already made to size. They already are folded. All I did was put some painter's tape so I can have a nice clean border of whatever I paint on here. So don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm going to give it a go. Also, this is going to be like a meditative thing, intuition or intuitive painting. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know. I guess whatever comes to mind. So I'm going to start by just showing you how simple it is to just throw color on paper. I've always had people, well, let me rephrase. I've had friends tell me, I can't do that, I can't do that. Well, you know, the only person that never could do this is one that never picked up a brush. Try it. I encourage you to try. You may just really excel and just love it. So try. All right, what I'm doing is putting a coat of water on this card so that I can get it prepped and ready to go for some watercolor. So I'm letting it sheen up. And boy, this is some thirsty paper because it's taking a lot of that. Whew. All right, let's see how this goes. I'm not sure, y'all, but let's see. I think I'm going to take a little cobalt blue and just start dropping it in for a blue sky. Let's see what happens with this. Let's just drop it in. I'm just kind of haphazardly putting it in there, just letting it go wherever it kind of wants to go. I think I will grab some tissue so I can blot out some areas, if I can find what I did with it. Oh, that's the saying, always losing stuff in here. Give me just a second. Alrighty. All right, I got a little tissue here. I'm just gonna show you how easy it is to blot out some clouds. We're just gonna dance, roll, blot, blot, blot. And there you have instant watercolor clouds. It doesn't get easier than that. All right, let's start on our foreground. Let's see, what colors do I want? Let's see. I think we could do, hold on, somebody's texting. I'm sorry. Terrible, terrible, terrible of me. All right, let's put in, let's do some bright green. So let's drop a little bit more water in here so it'll run for us. Let's do some really, I love this green gold. It's one of my favorite colors. Let's just drop some down in there. I just love the brightness that it does. And then I'm gonna drop off some tree colors or foliage. So let's put a little, do I want that color? Let's do a little burnt sienna. Why not? Let's see what happens. Let's just drop it in there. And just put it back here in the distance. Nobody will never know. There we go. Just redoing my line because it's kind of wanting to take over a bit. And I think I'm gonna put some green back here. And watch what I show you with this. This is cool. So we're just gonna run a line on the horizons back here. And then I'm gonna wet the brush, I'm gonna turn it over, and I'm just gonna dance across. All right, and I'm gonna let that run. Turn it back. And we're going to add some darker colors back here. Kind of making those distant trees. And we're just random putting them in. And making some more ground. And see, we've already got a nice, at a distance, trees. So those work. Do I want water? I think I'm going to do water. I think I will. So let's see. Let's wet this up a little bit. Let's put some water down. Water for the water. And let's put some of that beautiful cobalt blue because it's going to be reflecting from the sky. So let's put some of that down. Okay, and let's put some ground here because everything right now is just kind of sitting. So let's put some ground. And if you notice, I'm mostly just mixing on the card itself. I'm not mixing on the palette. I'm just kind of doing something quick, something that doesn't take a lot of time to think about, and just whatever happens basically is happening. All right, let's do that. I think we're gonna need some trees, so I always love a big tree, so let's put some trees in here. Just kind of, let's see, where do I want them? Well, it's gonna fuzz out if I put it there. All right, let's give it a minute to dry a bit before we do that. In the meantime, I can go ahead and put the shadows of my planned trees I'm gonna have, because I know I'm gonna have probably 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 here. And that way you get your automatic reflection if you do it while it's wet. Pretty cool trick, huh? All right, let's darken up the ground. Kind of is not got any dimension yet, so let's give it some more color. Let's just put some of that in here. And give it some, like the bank of the water. It's going to have more reflections. Perfect. I'm going to give it a quick dry. But you know what? Before I do that, let me add some green. I'm going to put some more green over here. Kind of let that blend in back there, so it's not so stark yellow. And that way, it'll just kind of give us foliage. So let's put some of that here. And I'm gonna get rid of some of that so I don't lose too much light, because I want some light behind the trees that I'm gonna put in. So I'm gonna remove some of this. All right, and now I'm gonna dry it. I'm gonna start working on the trees. I've been using a pretty big brush for this small of paper because I want to keep it loose, but I am going to switch to a little bit smaller to kind of do some trees. Excuse me. And let's see. Let's get some on our brush. And we're going to start our trees. Let's see. We already got some reflections, so we'll kind of follow those. And if y'all know me, I love some trees, y'all. I love some trees. So let's start right here. And just kind of let your hand go wherever it wants to go, because Oh, I'm sorry if I'm in the way. It's kind of hard to, let's try to do it sideways. Well, I'm really going for it today, ain't I? Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but y'all don't panic, because trees do that. They do grow kind of wonky. So that's all right. If your brush slips, you're fine. Just make it part of your tree. And let's see, put some over here, just so y'all can kind of get a look. All right. Turn it back around. Do some here. All right, and let's put some quick trees over here. And another one here. And I'm just kind of like, just wherever, I'm holding the brush so far back that I really don't have good control. So it's kind of just going wherever, and that's okay. Kind of rolling my hand, because again, trees are not perfect, and they just kind of go every which way, and that's okay. Gonna make the trunks a little thicker, I think, because they're kind of looking off balance. But again, all the trunks are not most likely going to be the same size, so that's okay too. Then I'm going to give them a little more solid ground so they're not floating. You know, we don't want the trees to look like they're floating away in the air. So I'm going to put some foliage behind them by just a wiggle of the brush. Y'all, I'm sorry, this is not a tutorial. This is just playtime. Just playing. Just showing you how quick it is to throw something down on paper. All right, so I'm just going to wet my brush, and I'm going to bring these reflections down again. So with already some of the wet paint, just bring them down. Bring them down into the water. Bring them down. Bring the shadows. And just kind of wiggle across to make the water movement. And I have two little shadows there, so let me put some little trees. Just like maybe some little stumpy trees that have come up here. And let's bring them down. Let's see. Kind of turn them into something different, because I don't want everything the same. So let's see. Just make two little bushes. Or trees, whatever. Let's see here. I need a little more color in my water, so I think I'm going to reflect some of that yellow to warm this area up a little bit. I'm just going to put just a little stripe, and then a thirsty brush. I'm just kind of going to run it across, blend it out. You know, because I don't know, maybe that's the sun hitting it some kind of way, you know. Maybe a little bit more over here, just a little. Rinse my brush, drag it across, just to make it more interesting. And I find that it's probably gonna need some darker areas because everything's too bright. So let's put a little darkness in here. Just a little lunar black. And these are just going to be like your tree branches and things that are reflecting, rocks, whatever that's in the bottom of the water. And again, I'm going to try to smooth some of these out because I didn't like the way they did. So let's just kind of back that one off a little bit. And then I'm going to get the white. Let me get that real quick. I'm gonna have the white, be getting it ready. I'm gonna loosen that up a bit with some water. And I think I'm gonna put, I don't know, everything's too clean, so I'm gonna dirty it up. I know that sounds terrible, but I'm gonna dirty it up because it looks too clean. So what I'm gonna do is have some splatter fun. So I'm gonna take, let's see, let's do that hematite again and loosen it up a bit. And I'm gonna show y'all a quick way to get some foliage and rocks and atmosphere and all kinds of things. And you're just gonna load it up on your brush. You're just gonna boop, 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 boop. And normally I would tape off the sky if this was going somewhere or if I was actually creating something to sell. But since this is just for me, for just a simple card, I'm not gonna be too concerned. Because honestly, this could be like, you know what, let's do that anyway. Let's put it in the sky. Because that could be leaves. Again, we're going atmospheric, so it don't matter. Now, you kind of don't want to overdo, which I'm really good at overdoing, because I love the splatter method. But this actually gives it dimension. I mean, it gives you something else for your eye to look at. Let's see. I think I'm gonna take the white. You know what, before I do white, let's see. I think I need some grasses in here. So let's do some grasses. Let's see, what colors do I want to use? I think I'm gonna use just some black and just kind of scrub up some grasses. Because once you put that white, you're kind of done. Because it'll smear and make everything different. Nothing will stand out. It'll be all cloudy. All right, just making some grasses. Just some grasses. See, that's kind of what this needed. It needed something to, I'm actually thinking that I need a little more color back here because it's too all the same. I don't like that. So let's just put, I don't want to take away all the light though, because I have to be careful because this gets me in trouble. 9 times out of 10, this gets me in trouble. But I think we need like bushes and things. So let me just drop some greens and just splatter it around. Yeah, it needs it because, you know, honestly, if you were looking this on a creek bank, all this would be growed up. You wouldn't be able to see, I mean, most likely you're not going to be able to see all these bare spots. It's going to be pretty thick with brush, so kind of trying to mimic that. So I want to get some browns in here. Let's get some browns going, some dark brown. And especially on that bank, you know, where the water gets that red mud. Well, here in Georgia anyway, it's red. You know, different places it's different. I want to be careful not to lose all my light, so I don't want to get rid of all these light colors, but just kind of just trying to switch up the colors here. You know, with watercolor, you paint light to dark, and then oils, you do dark to light. So, yeah, it can be confusing. Like, sometimes I find myself starting out too light on the oil, and then I make mud. So, I'm just kind of removing some of those stark lines. I just kind of want the brush look. didn't like the way that looked, so I'm just taking it back off. But I like the dirtiness of it, if that makes sense. All right, and let's see. You know, I think it could use a little yellow because yellow always warms up a painting. And two, there might be little flowers that are kind of peeking through here. Maybe dandelions or, you know, just some kind of, like those, I always call them mustard flowers. I don't know what they are, but they grow wild and I love them. They're so pretty. And usually you see them really tall in all this brush. So I'm just going to splatter some yellow. And I need it a little bit juicier. It's not quite wanting to let go of the brush. Just little flowers. See, it's just tiny, 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 tiny little specks. Kind of break up some of that dark. All right. And where it got in my water, it's okay. But what I'm actually going to do with that is kind of blend it into the water. Make it a more of a reflection than a flower in the water. So I'm just going to take a thirsty brush and I'm going to start soaking some of that up. And just make the ripples. And actually the bright and spots in the yellow are really nice. So I like that. I'm going to keep that. All right, I like that. And for my last thing, the last thing I'm gonna do is gonna add some white gouache. Again, we get a thirsty brush and soak up some white to give more atmosphere, more depth, more light. And I don't know, I may be doing almost take care because sometimes this brush will let loose and I don't want it to go crazy, but because it's thick. But it kind of makes like little grasses and interest at the base of the trees. That's why I like doing it. Hope y'all don't have headphones on because this might not be pleasant. I like that. All right. Rinse out my brush. Y'all, again, this has just been a playtime. Nothing tutorial about it. Just want to show you how fun it is to do this. Let me look at it. Let me pick it up. You know, I think, you know, I said I was going to stop, but I think it could use some more branches because my trees are looking kind of, you know, bare. So I'm going to make some more branches. Make it a little thicker. And I'm just going to start and just let it dance across, do it in a darker color so everything's not the same. And just kind of go with it. And, you know, I said I was going to stop because now I got those white blobs. And if I hit one, well, there you go. It's going to be a mess, but that's all right. But I just love the idea of making homemade cards and gifts. I don't think nothing is more special than something that you make from the heart, you know? And I'm just kind of scrubbing this because, again, if it's in the forest or on a creek bank, you're going to have so much growed up stuff and vines, dead vines, all kind of stuff. So, you know, just kind of let your brush play. I say this is not a tutorial and then I sound like I'm making one. I'm not, I promise. I'm just kind of explaining my madness method here. But yeah, because these might be little dead stuff coming up and around your trees. And just go ahead and put some in the ground. doing too much, and I'm gonna stop because I get carried away. And my last thing is everyone should do, even though this is just a simple thank you card, I'm gonna put my initials on it because I did make it. And I'm just gonna do that with a watercolor pencil at the bottom, kind of small. And then the most funnest part of the whole thing is peeling off the paper, the painter's tape. That's the best part, y'all. The best part. So you can really get a look at your painting that way to see it bordered like a frame. All right, that one kind of folded over, so let's start over here. And there you have it. Whoops. Just a simple, let me get it in the frame. Here we go. Just a simple card. And it takes no time. I could have done this in 5 minutes had I not been running my mouth and trying to make it where everybody could see what I was doing. But I just wanted to let you know, it's just fun. Just so, again, the only person that never could paint is one that didn't pick up a brush. Go get your brush. Go paint. Thank you, guys. See you next time. Bye.